Somewhere on Roblox right now, there is a game with nearly 2 million lifetime visits. The creator's account shows almost no recent activity. The last update was a long time ago, but the servers are still running. If you click play, you will load in. You will spawn into a world that someone built, someone who walked away and never came back. The lobby is empty, the chat is silent, and the game just sits there, waiting, like a room where someone left the lights on. There are over 50 million experiences published on Roblox, 50 million worlds that someone at some point thought were worth building. But here is what most people do not realize. Over 90% of those experiences never reach 1,000 concurrent players. The median Roblox game loses 80 to 85% of its first-time players within 24 hours of their first session. Most of these games are not failures in the dramatic sense. They just quietly fade. No final goodbye. No shutdown announcement. They simply stop getting updates and the players drift away, one by one until the counter hits 0. But the game stays online. That is the part that gets strange. Roblox does not delete these experiences. They remain on the servers, playable, accessible, frozen exactly as the creator left them. You can visit a game that was last touched years ago, and it runs like nothing happened. The physics still work. The UI still loads. It is a time capsule made of code, preserved not because someone chose to save it, but because nobody chose to erase it. This raises a question nobody seems to ask. Why does Roblox keep dead games alive? Part of the answer came on August 27, 2025, when Roblox announced a new policy. Starting September 30th of that year, unrated games, meaning games whose creators had not completed certain compliance requirements, would become inaccessible to the general public. They would only be discoverable by the developers themselves. But Roblox added a specific exception. In their own words, they stated they understand that some of your favorite experiences were published by creators who are no longer active on Roblox. To ensure these cherished classics are not lost, they committed to preserving all unique public experiences from inactive creators that had reached at least 1,000 lifetime visits by September 30th, 2025. So Roblox drew a line. 1,000 visits. That is the threshold between being remembered and being erased. If your game crossed that number before the deadline, Roblox would keep it running even if you disappeared. If it did not, it could vanish from public access entirely. This creates a strange tension. Some community members argue the platform should default to preserving everything, especially older games made by young creators who may have simply moved on and never filled out compliance paperwork. Others see the policy as a necessary safety measure, particularly given Roblox's younger audience. But the fear is real. Smaller, obscure games could be lost forever, not because they broke any rules, but because the person who made them was a kid in 2012 who has not logged in since. Now consider what happens to games that do get popular. A study tracking viral Roblox games from 2024 through 2025 found that about 80% of games that peaked in the top 50 by concurrent players dropped below the top 200 by early 2026. Many saw steep declines within just 8 to 12 weeks after their peak. Functional abandonment often followed within 6 months. These were not small projects. These were games that had tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of players at once. And they still faded. Take Grow a Garden as an example. It launched on March 26, 2025, built by developers BMW Lux, Splitting Point Studios, Do Big Studios, and Jandel. By June 21st, it hit over 16 million concurrent users. By August 23rd, it peaked at 22.3 million. That is a staggering number. But the pattern that data shows is clear. The pressure window, roughly the first 90 days after peak, is when everything either holds or collapses. The developer has to keep updating, keep monetizing, keep the community engaged, and many cannot sustain it. That brings us to the human cost. In March of 2025, a developer known as Zeal, the lead creator behind Pressure, a popular horror survival game on Roblox, publicly announced he was abandoning the project. His statement was raw. He said he absolutely despised working on the game. He said he did not like the decisions he made early in development. He said the mere thought of being able to stop was probably the happiest he had felt regarding that project in months. One day later, after intense community pushback, he reversed the decision. But his words reveal something that rarely gets discussed. Building a Roblox game that people love can become a trap. What starts as a passion project turns into a job and then into a weight. Developer burnout and mental health are increasingly cited as reasons games get abandoned. Young creators find themselves managing massive communities, dealing with constant demand for updates, facing harassment, and struggling to monetize properly. The fun drains out, and at some point, they just stop logging in. But there is a different kind of abandoned game, one that is not about burnout or lost interest or chasing the next viral hit. Sometimes a game goes silent because the person who made it is gone. There are pages on Roblox where you can scroll through the comments and find messages left years after the last update. People writing things like, "We miss you." People tagging friends. People revisiting a game not to play it, but to remember. The creator is not coming back. There will never be another update. But the game still loads, the server still runs, and every now and then, someone joins, walks through the empty map, and sits there for a while before leaving. There is something about these spaces that feels different from every other kind of abandoned media. A canceled TV show gets archived, a closed restaurant gets demolished, but a Roblox game made by someone who is no longer here just keeps existing, exactly as they left it, running on servers maintained by a company that made a quiet promise to preserve it. The code does not know its creator is gone. It just keeps doing what it was told to do. Roblox has over 50 million experiences. Most will never be famous. Most will never hit 1,000 concurrent players. Most will lose the majority of their audience within a single day. But some of them will outlast the people who built them. And that is the part that stays with you. Some games do not get a final update. They do not get a farewell message or a shutdown screen. They just stop. The last line of code that was ever written sits right where it was saved, and the game runs on, empty, patient, holding a place for someone who is never coming back.